So what I want to show off today is going to be a really interesting one. There's actually something underneath every map in the game. Like a little, we're going to call it a little hidden area. It's more like a kind of set piece that the game uses, but it's really cool, and I actually discovered this on accident first. So we do have to get under the map, so I am going out of bounds for this. And you can see kind of just a little sneak peek of what it looks like out here. I do have a video coming in the next few weeks that like goes in depth on like all the different stages like out of bounds. So that'll be coming like soonish. But for now, I just need to get underground. How do I get underground? Okay, so I've now made it underground, so I'm gonna try to make my way back to where the actual stage is, which I believe is this way. Okay, yeah, it's around here, because Goku apparently doesn't know where I am. Okay, this should be fine. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to head down from here. And then eventually we should be able to see again. There we go. So once you get under like the little fog layer and you can actually, you know, be underground. So like, I don't know why this little layer is here. It's interesting. But once you get underneath it, you can see this little interesting looking like dome here. And it's actually just like a full circle. It's actually really big. Just give you a nice view of it. Again, I'm gonna be going more in depth about like some of the other stuff out of bounds at a different time. But you can enter this because the walls obviously have no collision. You can see this little like galaxy here, cool little star effect. You can see this ground that you can't actually stand on, but you can just look all around inside here, and it's a really cool area. Now why this is here is basically so it can be called in the middle of the battle for any stage, because it's actually tied to an attack. So it's basically always underneath the stage just so it can be brought, or you can be teleported here at any time. So I'll show which move that is. You might know based off of the character. So if we hit Goku with the black bind here, you see it's this area. The area that this move takes place is what's underneath the map. And it's basically there just so it can be called at any point. I don't know if the game teleports you there or if it calls that like asset up, one or the other, but that's what that area is. And it's hidden underneath every map, pretty far down, but basically just so, again, it can be used at any time. I don't remember if Hit does it with his attack or not.
You're dead.
Well, he's dead. Wait, what attack? Oh, I was thinking of the ult. Sorry, Goku, that was unnecessary. Okay, no, this is a different thing. I wonder if this area is also like somewhere, or if it's just like a background, or it's done different. I don't know. But I believe the other place where that background is also used is for beam struggles. When you get like a really strong beam struggle that like shatters the dimension. I'll put up some footage of that because I don't really feel like plugging in a second controller to get it. But yeah, those are the 2 times that I know of where that is actually used. And yes, underneath every map in the game. I'll go to another one. So I'm in Namek now, out of bounds, which Namek is probably my favorite stage out of bounds. The stage is gigantic, like so much bigger than it I really feel like it needs to be, but it's huge. And then now that I'm actually under, I'm gonna go back to where the stage is, because it's basically underneath where the stage part is, and then we're gonna go all the way under here, and then you can see it's under this map too, in the exact same. Like I said, it's basically in the same spot in every map in the game. And I originally did that because on the island map I flipped out of bounds on accident, like while waiting to get into a match. I can never replicate it though, but I did manage to do that. And yeah, I found out that's under every map. Pretty cool. That over there is something entirely different. That's only in Namek. I'm showing that off in the video about the full out of bounds stuff, but that's really cool. Little teaser for you there. Only map with 2 things underneath it as far as I could tell. But yeah, it's a really cool little detail, and it just looks sick like being under here. So next I wanted to talk about characters that actually change their ultimates or change their supers based off of the outfit that they have. So Sparkin really didn't do that good with like customization. I don't think that's too much of like a hot take. There's not a lot of outfits and they don't really like change anything, and you can't really customize movesets. Which is a little underwhelming, but there are some. The one that I think everybody knows is Super Goku, where normally he just has this attack. It's pretty cool. Beerus is gonna feel that, I'm sure. However, if you pick the outfit that has the power pole, then his super actually changes. I actually didn't know about this for like a month in the game, but yeah. This was, I believe, a pre-order bonus or the ultimate bonus for the best edition or whatever. That, yeah, you get a different super when you have the power pole outfit. This one I know everybody knows about, at least I assume a lot of people do. Anybody that got it, at least. But this is actually not the only one of these in the game, which is, I think, the thing that most people won't know, because the other one is much more obscure, I feel like. Because a lot of people use Goku, and this one it was also advertised, but the next one wasn't. So it is a cool thing. Although I will say, being able to see like any form of Goku with like the power pole on the back, even if it doesn't change the other moves, it's really sick. Like adult Goku with power pole just goes hard, you know? So the other character that has an outfit-specific attack is actually Android 18, which is why I say it's probably a bit of an odd choice, since a lot of people don't even like play in androids. But if you look at her second blast, it's just, you know, simple energy wave. It's nothing special. It's your typical like, I need a beam attack, so here's a beam, have it. But if you pick specifically this outfit, which is outfit 5, then you get Chain Destructo Disc instead, which I would say is the better attack. I mean, you can't beam struggle, but Destructo Disc is pretty good because it just goes through guard. And also, like, there's 2 of them, so it's honestly better than Krillin's. But yeah, you know, she picked up a few things with Krillin and learned how to use Chain Destructo Disc, so it's pretty cool. Also, I didn't know you could break underneath the stage like that. Can I stand on this? Fascinated. Yes, but as far as I know, these are the only 2 outfits in the game that actually alter the movesets of the characters. It's literally just the, like, pre-order Goku and then Android 18, which is very odd that it's only those 2, because they could have done much more interesting things with that. But when it comes to Spark and a lot of details, you know, I feel like they could have put in a little more effort into customization. I hope we see that more in the future. What? Oh, I guess one of those went to the audience. One of them called a stray from that. So now we're going to be looking at the different ki blasts that characters have. So I think people know that different characters have different like types of ki blasts. Like, that's the wrong Goku, actually. But like, one of Goku's has a Destructo Disc when he holds stuff like that in the air. You also have this attack, which is what we're going to be focusing on, where if you jump and are not flying, you just jump and then press the ki button. They do like a quick little ki spam. A quick little barrage that actually does a lot of damage. It can be kind of nice if you can catch people with that, like close up. You could use it to kind of blast a bunch of damage into them. I think it also combos. Like, you could do something like this, which I actually kind of have to remember because that's kind of cool. We're going to be testing if Vegeta actually does more ki blasts for this part than other characters, because Vegeta throughout the series is a bit of a ki blast spammer. I mean, there's a ton of different times in most of his fights that he tends to just resort to spam and ki blast. He is the worst offender of that by far. I mean, Goku's done it a couple times, but Vegeta does it literally every fight, almost always when he gets upset. Now, obviously, I can't go through every single character, but I will just be showing a good variety of them so you can get an idea. So Ginyu, he does 7. He also kind of spaces them out a little bit. Super Saiyan Goku, as we saw, does 7 as well. If he is not Super Saiyan, you can see he only does 2. You can already see that there's a bit of a variety to how many the characters do. If I spam click it more, then I can do 5. So there is like some variety as well. If we look at Gohan here, Gohan does 3. If you keep going, he does 6. Possibly 7, who knows? No, 6. Super Saiyan 1 does 7, and Super Saiyan 2 does 7. Piccolo does 3, but if you keep clicking it, he goes up to 6. And Goku Black, he does 7, but he also kind of spaces them out like Ginyu. His animation's also really cool. When he's in Rose, he actually does less. He does 4. But you can make that go up a little bit. You can actually make him do 8, which is the most we've seen if you keep spamming the button. Oob does 5, it looks like. Majube does 7. Trunks does 7. Super Saiyan 1 does 4, but of course you can actually make it keep going to 8, it looks like. Goten does 3. You can make him do apparently just 3. Yeah, he actually can't keep going. His Super Saiyan form does 5 though. Perfect Cell does 7. You can't make that go any higher. Cooler can do 4 and only 4. And his final form can do 4 and only 4. So now you have an idea of how much the characters do. The highest we've seen is 8, and generally every character does between like 3 to 7. 3 to 7, and the highest we've seen so far is 8. So we are now going to test out every Vegeta in the game to see how it compares to that 3 to 7. So our Saiyan Saga Vegeta, he does 5 if you don't do anything, just 1 click. However, if you do keep going, he does 10. So far, that is 2 higher than anything we've seen. Also, if you're curious, Great Ape 5. Cell Saga Vegeta does 5 to 10. Super Saiyan Vegeta does 5 to 10. And Super Vegeta does 5 to 10. Yeah, there we go. Buu Saga Vegeta does 5 to 10. Majin Vegeta 5 to 10. Yeah, so I think you see the trend here is that Vegeta actually does do more than the average Ki Blast. He does between 5 to 10, it looks like, on every single form, basically. Instead of the average like 3 to 7-ish, and then sometimes 5 that other characters get. Damn, that's a sick grab. There are other examples of characters doing a lot, like second form Frieza here, doing between 3 to 9, but not quite 10, because, you know, Frieza has this whole attack right here, basically, the barrage death beam, where he does like the dun 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 with all the death beams, you know, the one. And then final form Frieza does 7, so you can see even less than second form. So yes, Vegeta actually does do more Ki Blast than the average character. All of his forms, it seemed like, all do the same. I don't know if he does the most Ki Blast for that of any character, but he does do a considerable amount above the average, because they are kind of lore accurate with the different Ki Blasts, which is a really cool thing. But yeah, Vegeta is considerably over the average by like 2 to 3. We're going to be talking about characters that you can have on the same team together, because for the most part you cannot actually have the same character on the team. So if I were to pick like early Goku, I can't pick another early Goku, but I could pick like mid Goku or one that's like a different form. And there are like different dialogues and stuff special for the teams that you pick. So it's possible to have the same like character on them, just not the same like form of that character, basically. That's why, like, for the last example I was able to pick, you know, all the different Vegetas, but if I were to pick like Cell Saga Vegeta, I wouldn't be able to pick like any of the other forms, because, you know, at some point I would have 2 of the same character, which I can't do. But there are some exceptions to that. One fascinating little example you can do is you can have Cell and perfected form Cell, because even though like they're basically the same character, they're not actually a transformation of each other. So you can basically just have a completely legal team that's just 2 of the exact same cells, more or less. They have different moves, obviously, you know what I mean? There's visually no difference between them. But without like joking, the actual teams that you can get, because there are some characters that you can run multiple. I'm just curious if you have any outfits now. There are characters you can run multiple of, and one of them is actually the Cyberman. Yes, you can actually run a group of 5 of these fellas. That's for a few reasons. One, it's not like game breaking because of how weak they are, but also they're canonically always seen in a group. Like, you really never just see one of them. So it makes sense for there to be multiple. Like, they're not a special character, so it's not weird for there to be a bunch of them. They're like the Goombas of Dragon Ball, pretty much. Another one you can do is actually Metal Cooler. This isn't because he's an android and can technically be like remade. It's again because in the movie there is, you know, thousands of Metal Coolers. Like, canonically there is multiple. There is a lot more than one, so it doesn't hurt to run a bunch on a team. Because Metal Cooler is actually a pretty good character, so this team's kind of scary. But yeah, it goes with the canon. So as you might expect, that goes the same for the Cell Juniors. Again, there's canonically multiple of them when they show up in the series, so it's not weird for them to be on a whole team together. Yeah, unless I'm misremembering here, those are the only 3 characters that you can technically have entire teams of. Is the Cybermen, the Cell Juniors, and then the Metal Coolers. All because of the fact that they are like that in the canon, which I think is really cool. It does make for somewhat broken teams. Like, again, the Metal Cooler team is really good, but it's not like it's used enough where I think it's a bad thing. I just think it's super cool that they actually did care about how characters showed up in the actual like lore and then adjusted the like balancing and mechanics of the game for it. It's a really neat little detail. So not a super long one to end on, but it is one that I found really interesting. And that is the end. I'm doing these slightly less often because I'm trying to continue to find them and like good ones to do, to have something good in every video basically. But you know, help me out with that. Give me some ideas. I appreciate it.